up? What's good? What's popping? What's cracking? What's percolating? What's really good in the hood? It is your man Theo Butler, and welcome to a very, 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 very late review of She-Hulk episode 1 with the Raw Women Nation. Y'all go ahead. Got my daughters in here with me and everything like that. Ariel 9, Jalea 10. Say hello, girls.
Hello.
They want to be with dad while dad does a video, so why not with this video? And I'm gonna have to keep it PG-13 because they 9 and 10, so it's gonna be some stuff I can't say. Before we begin though, like, share, subscribe. If you like, leave a comment. If you don't like, leave a constructive comment. Why? Because if you know me, grow me, and sharing is caring. And constructive comments do what? They actually help a brother grow. They do. I see we doing some different things. We growing. So shout out to my business manager, Aaron, the big word Brinkley, because he was. Y'all know how I feel about Marvel right now at this particular point in time. Y'all know how I feel. But he says, Theo, you need to review the stuff. I'm like, why? He said, because you know the stuff. You're going to be able to talk about it in ways some other folks can't, because you're going all the way back to the source material. Some of these other people, not. You know what? Aaron is right. Aaron is right. So I'm gonna try my best today. I got a live going on today. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from 7 to 8. We're going to get a lot of stuff in. We're going to get y'all in. We're going to get y'all out. We're going to talk about some She-Hulk. We're going to talk about some college football. We're going to talk about some action figures. We're going to talk about bending and swapping. We're going to talk about all that. But that's for that show, 7 p.m. live tonight. Y'all make sure y'all catch me. I ain't saying I'm just saying. But review She-Hulk episode 1. Now, let me just say that my introduction to She-Hulk took place in Bronx, New York. I was living with my mother at the time, and you living in New York, Marvel, DC, back then, early 80s, late 70s. So I was fortunate enough to go to the comic book store right by Marvel headquarters. That's what my mom was doing for me. And that's where I got my first She-Hulk comic book. Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. the Savage She-Hulk. Yeah, she didn't gain that sense of humor that we putting out here right now. She didn't get that sense of humor until John Byrne took over writing her and drawing her. John Byrne, phenomenal writer, phenomenal artist, and everything like that. Now, I said all that to say this. Aside from expecting to see the She-Hulk and some other Marvel characters in this particular TV show, I don't really have no expectations. I don't have no expectations. I know this is supposed to be a comedy. I know this is supposed to be an attorney show that's comedic and everything like that. I think I read somewhere. No, I know I read somewhere where the people that's actually writing this show have no experience whatsoever in writing law shows. So I don't have no expectation. I expect to see characters that I know in this show, and that's about it. So Jennifer Walters, aka the Savage She-Hulk, like I said, this ain't the Savage She-Hulk. This is the sensational She-Hulk. So I'm expecting a laugh. Like, no, dead ass. I'm expecting a laugh. I am. So episode 1 is titled A Normal Amount of Rage. We open up with Jennifer Walters going over her closing argument. Here we're introduced to Dennis. And Dennis, we don't need Dennis to remind us of how much of a male chauvinist men could be, how toxic men could be. Like, because that's the only purpose, from what I've seen, at least in the first 3 episodes, this is the only purpose that Dennis is going to serve throughout, to remind people that men are incompetent, idiots, sexist, delusional. Every derogatory term you could think about when it comes to a man, that's Dennis. It's gonna get, I don't even like Dennis. No man like Dennis. Matter of fact, Dennis ain't got no male friends. If he did, he would have understood that what happened in episode 3 couldn't even been possible because he ain't liked it. Somebody gonna say she had to leave. Right. Nevertheless, that's why we introduced Dennis. Just told you literally what he is. who he's supposed to be. We're also introduced to her best friend, Nikki, who is her legal aid, legal assistant. Now, Nikki also tells her that she has to show everybody her savage Jennifer Walters look. This is an homage to her making an appearance, first comic book, Savage She-Hulk. That's all it was. She then backs us up a few months where we're driving on a back road. We, us, her, and her cousin Bruce, because she's looking past Bruce. Bruce sitting on the passenger side. She's looking through Bruce to talk to us. She's breaking the fourth wall. We'll come back to visit that later on. They're discussing Cap's sex life when a Sakaar shows up and forces him off the road. Now, Bruce Banner's arm is still in the sling. I'm a comic book fan. I read comic books. So me, Bruce's arm still being in the sling, I'm not understanding that. I don't give a damn about what the Russo brothers said. I'm telling you that his arm should not be in a sling. Nevertheless, it ain't even just that. I know what happened in Savage She-Hulk #1. She got shot. She was an attorney. So let me see if I got this right. Harvey Dent can get acid thrown in his face because he's going off after the mob, and that story sticks. Jennifer Walters going after the mob, she gets shot in the back. No, that's not good. We can't do that story because we know Bruce gave her a blood transfusion, which resulted in her becoming the She-Hulk in Savage She-Hulk. We don't want to do that over here because we don't want women to be saved by men. That's literally where we going with this, because Kevin Feige was like this. He didn't want Dr. Strange showing up in WandaVision because he didn't want the white male to be seen as the savior. A story is a story is a story is a story. You're going so hard not to paint women as being weak. They aren't. You don't have to put all that stink on it. You're going so hard to paint women as being independent, strong, intelligent. Mind you, women are that. You don't have to paint them, portray them as that. But you're going so hard to do it, you're making the men look weak as hell. You got an agenda when you're doing that. So, because anybody getting shot is going to need a blood transfusion because they're losing blood. Male, female. So Bruce could have been saving, watch this. He saved Jennifer in the comic books, right? He could have been saving his first cousin James in the comic book. But you wouldn't have altered the origin story then, would you? What you did was you have Jennifer Walters, Bruce, the Incredible Hulk, laying out. Now, actually, he ain't even laying out. He's trapped in the car. Can't transform. Trapped in the car, and Jennifer Walters in a human form forces the door open. So let's just do this, Marvel. If we don't want to paint humans as being helpless, humans aren't helpless. Let's not have it where we finna dumb down a man for a woman, dumb down a woman for a man. You literally had her do what you don't want men doing. Being heroic and saving the dude in distress. See, this ain't the damsel in distress right now. This the dude in distress. You actually finna pay this off again in Black Panther 2 when you got a black boy about to drown being saved by the doors. Where's the Hatut Zaraze? Never mind. That ain't what this is about. I don't want to do that. But instead of just telling a good story, we got to have a story that's going to push an agenda. The feminist movement. You know what? A woman never has to worry about being respected by a man. You need me to say that one more time? A woman never has to worry about being respected nor disrespected by a man, because a man respects a woman. Marvel, you know who you catering to? I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Men get offended by this. I believe women do too. Male chauvinist pigs, feminists, they get off on stuff like this. Notice what I said. Those are two extremist groups. Male chauvinist pigs, feminists. Men and women, we ain't fond of this at all. We're not. I'm going to keep it going though. I already told you that Bruce was wearing a device on his arm to keep him from transforming. I already told you how I felt about Jennifer Walters having to pull him to safety. And the idiocy of it is this: he was so out of it, his arm just fell over, and he got wounds, he bleeding, she got wounds. So his blood literally just drips into her blood. It causes an immediate transformation right there. I know. I didn't touch on that. Anyway, y'all seen the movie 9 to 5? Nobody. 9 to 5 started Dolly Parton and Dabney Coleman. You know what 9 to 5 is, and this is the reason why I'm touching on 9 to 5. Because 9 to 5 was a female-driven movie that was comedic, and it was funny as hell. I'm of the mindset that if you watch 9 to 5 right now, you would probably watch 9 to 5 and laugh more in 9 to 5, a movie that came out in the 70s with a country singer. I'm of the mindset you will laugh more watching 9 to 5, and I'm talking to all my brothers and sisters that's in their 30s, 20s, whatever. You're going to laugh more at 9 to 5 than you laughing at She-Hulk. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. And it's about damn near the same thing. Men being male chauvinist pigs and being incompetent. But we knew how to get laughs out of that show. You laughed at that movie the whole damn time. Yes, Dolly Parton has a comedic bone. Yes, she does. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Back to our story though. Of course, Jen hulks out and runs away. She does. She awakens hours later in some woods near a bar where she sneaks into a bathroom where she's tended to by a group of women. The bar, it looked like a hole in the wall. The way the women were dressed. I don't know who picked out the outfits, but nevertheless, after walking outside, she's then harassed by 3 random guys. And let me just say this to Castor. One of them dudes didn't look like he fit. He didn't look like he fit where they was at. And he didn't look like he belonged with the other 2 dudes. Has nothing to do with race. It's who dressed these cats. His swag don't match their swag. They swag don't match his swag. Matter of fact, his swag don't even match the damn bar that they was at. It don't. Some of y'all don't get out, which is crazy as hell. Like, y'all should be able to pull this stuff up, Google stuff. You got a bar in the country, and you literally got a dude going, never mind. Y'all know it ain't just me. Anyway, where am I at? Jen gets ready to hulk out, and she's getting ready to hulk out because the dudes won't leave her alone. Now, that's soft harassment. I've seen other shows where women get harassed way more than that. But, you know, they was just asking her some questions, and she had a rough day. She did. And when a woman say leave her alone, leave her alone. She say she don't want to be bothered, leave her alone. A woman say whatever you talking about ain't, just when a woman done, just walk away so it don't go nowhere else, because it ain't that serious. She say leave her alone, leave her alone. Lesson learned, hopefully. Anyway, next we have Jen waking. Yeah, because Bruce had to grab her. Because if Bruce don't grab her while he in his Hulk form, we probably finna have 3 smudges on the sidewalk. Nevertheless, Jen wakes up after Bruce done grabbed her, where she changes clothes and finds Bruce as Professor Hulk, or rather Smart Hulk. We call him Professor Hulk. So in Earth 1999, y'all call him Smart Hulk. I like Professor Hulk better. He's working in the lab that him and Tony built. He explains that it was a Sakari courier ship that forced him off the road. Now, he's going to say later on that he was trapped as the Hulk for 2 years. So I'm trying to figure out how he know that was a Sakari ship, because if I go back to Thor Ragnarok, he did change into Bruce on Sakaar, but he had no memory of what had taken place on Sakaar, because the last thing he could remember was being on Earth. So I'm thinking, this me helping Marvel explain some stuff, that when he got Smart Hulk and Bruce together, that they share some information. So I'm thinking that the Hulk brought Bruce up to speed as to what happened on Sakaar. He's probably a little home on Sakaar too. Probably got him a son and everything. We don't know because we don't really talk about it. Anyway, I'm not laughing. I smiled a few times in the show. I have, but just no, that ain't what happened. I actually laughed more watching Ace Bane's quarantine episodes on YouTube. I like to laugh. So if y'all want me to put the link to Ace Bane on the comment section, I'll put that. Y'all can laugh. I think it's about 45 episodes of Quarantine and everything. Hilarious. Justice League is quarantine episode dealing with Young Justice. So I think y'all will find that funny. But I ain't laughed. Not one time. Not yet. So we get a breakdown while they in the lab as to what's going on, as to why he's Smart Hulk. Which the narrative, we just going, So Bruce reveals that the way Jennifer's body synthesizes or processes gamma radiation, he was able to use a sample from her blood to heal his arm. So what we're saying is, if that's a car courier ship, don't force them off the road. His blood don't get mixed into her blood. His arm's still jacked up. And Jennifer literally tells him, oh, so that means I'm better. And he's like, he don't want to say that. Can we please read Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing so we will know that this should not have been possible? Maestro. Hell, Hasbro Legends even has a damn Maestro action figure. How you think we got that? Because the dude can't die. The dude can't be injured. As soon as something happened to the dude, he ain't even got to blink twice and it regenerate. Do you know they cut this dude up in Al Ewing's The Immortal Hulk? Cut this dude up. And he was still not only cognizant, he was still wrecking shop. Reading is fundamental. You know, we used to have this thing called Riff back in the day. Reading is fundamental. We used to have a reading rainbow back in the day. We used to have the buses that came by with the books in them and everything like that, so kids could read. I don't know what the hell happened, but somehow, some shape, form, or fashion, we don't even want to read no more. And that's even going to the people that's over Marvel Studios. How in the hell you got all this damn warehouse full of resources, reading material, and you ain't even read? Never mind. Because Bruce realizes that Jennifer's blood is the missing piece, he has it burnt, torched, lasered. Jennifer think he's overreacting, but no. Because we're going to see this play out again in episode 3. Do you know you can't get the perfect Hulk with Bruce's blood? But with Jennifer, oh, you can get the perfect Hulk. Like I said, just keep that in mind for episode 3. For this to be a comedy hype superhero show, like I said, I ain't really laugh. I ain't laugh. I got a lot of questions, but I ain't really laugh. Maybe Bruce pulling out a big ass study guide on how to be a Hulk was supposed to be laughable. It was funny. It was. I didn't laugh though. I didn't. I thought it was humorous. Not funny, haha, but just, I get it. Bruce then puts Jen through a series of tests. The first one revealing that she only has one persona. She's Jennifer Walters. Whether she's 6'7" and green, or whether she's probably 5'5", 5'4", Caucasian, she's still Jennifer Walters. It's at that point that he also admits he was the Hulk for 2 years. So how she knew, I don't know. Mind you, this whole time, Jen has been breaking the fourth wall by speaking directly to the audience. It's not Deadpoolish. It's not, it doesn't have that sense of humor to it. So that might be where some of the problems coming in. This was something she didn't begin doing though until John Byrne, the Sensational She-Hulk premiere. She didn't start breaking the fourth wall until the Sensational She-Hulk. She never did that in the Savage She-Hulk. Savage She-Hulk, they tried to have her more or less like her cousin, Bruce, the Incredible Hulk. We find ourselves in the courtroom. We do. Where Dennis whispers to Jen not to screw this up as Nikki rolls his eyes at her. Did I mention that Dennis's sole job is just to remind us how incompetent, how ignorant men are? Like, that's all we got. Like, he gonna be there to show us every episode how dumb, how stupid, how insensitive, how ignorant, how incompetent men can be. He is. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna put the picture right here. Y'all should see this. Titania busts into the courtroom. I'm assuming that's Titania because I don't know what the hell she got on. Like, if that's her costume, that is a piss poor costume for anybody. Like, I know what I want to say, but I got my daughters here, so I don't want to say what I want to say about how Titania is dressed. But that look like she dressed to do something else. And is she struggling with the guards in the background? On what planet, as we see Nikki telling Jennifer to go ahead and change up, on what planet is Titania struggling with human guards? Like, she tussling with them. Why she tussling with them and not backhanding them across the room? Like, quite a few of these cats should be taking a dirt nap, right? Right. This leads us, of course, to her asking Jen who she's supposed to be. Got that whole Batman moment. Who are you? She says, I'm Jennifer Walters, attorney at law. That's what she said. And the kick, when Titania jumped across the courtroom to kick Jennifer Walters, how that made it past editorial, I have no idea. Like, the editor should have like, no, we can't even use that scene because that scene looked fake as hell. It did. And then She-Hulk one punched her. On what planet is She-Hulk one punching Titania? If y'all can give me a comic book reference where She-Hulk gave Titania that one hit of quitter power, and I ain't talking about the She-Hulk that we got in New Avengers or the recent Avengers where she was just she was acting more like the older version of Bruce than Professor Hulk. I ain't talking about that version. I'm talking about, when have we ever known Titania to ever be down with one? Never. Show fades out. Eve, who's that girl, playing in the background, and I'm just gonna tell you, this soundtrack reminds me a lot of the Transporter soundtrack. This episode reminds me of the Transporter movie. Considering the soundtrack and considering what was going on in this episode, for all the, if y'all, some of my exes are gonna get that reference. Transporter. Y'all want to know what I'm talking about? Hit me up in the comment section. But I think it's interesting. Post-credit scene finds us back at the bar that Bruce made her help him rebuild. I would too, because that bar looked nice. And she tricks him into telling her that Steve Rogers isn't a virgin. Who cares? Who cares? Who, like, is it in Marvel? Who cares? That can't be the biggest mystery in Marvel Cinematic Universe, whether or not Cap was a virgin. Anyway, that's my breakdown. I'm coming back to y'all today with episode 2 review. We gonna knock all these out. 7 o'clock coming out with y'all with that live and everything. We gonna talk about some stuff. Yes, and since I'm reviewing episode 3 today, of course, we gotta talk about Megan's twerk scene. It ain't really moved me. Like, I felt away for some different reasons though. We'll talk about that at 7 o'clock tonight. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Y'all make sure y'all click, like, share, subscribe. We're trying to do some big things. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace. Hold on, before I go. Girls, introduce yourself. I'm gonna start with the youngest first. Ariel, wait, come here, wait. She can put her face on the face, because I don't. That's Ariel. I did say hello.
Hello.
That she talk loud. She talk loud. Okay, bye. We're gonna get Jaleel. We're gonna bring Jaleel on screen. Just the face.
Hi.
See, bang. There we go. So that's I got two more. I got a 21-year-old and I got a 26-year-old. No, 20. Yeah, she 27 because she's 7 years old. She's 27, soon to be 28 this year. And I got a granddaughter. I ain't saying. I'm just saying. Peace.